Okay, let's begin, please.
Landon, what was your claim?
I think gene doping is good and bad for you.
Why do you think that?
Okay, pause. Good. That was a star. That was a claim. That was a question. So initials, marking, initials, marking, initials, marking. That moved really fast. You're going to have your pencil here. So you don't want to close that. You want to be able to access this. So it was LR, LH, and MS. No. LR, LH, MS. You're going to go down like I demonstrated yesterday.
Claim and question?
It was a question, claim, and question.
It was leader, claim, and question.
Oh, leader, claim, and question. Yeah. So a leader is a star. Remember to reference this. It's also right here.
Why I said this is because gene doping will mess with your genes, and the quote that I have is trait selection raises moral issues for like creating designer babies with the gene doping.
Can you say that in English? Like, don't read it off your paper.
So like gene doping, it messes with your traits, like so it'll switch your genes up. And for a second one I had.
No. We're not just reading these. We're having a conversation.
Hey, what's your claim, Amy?
But no one's going to respond to his reasoning or his
Does
claim.
anybody have any other evidence to help back up Landon's claim that he had? What was your claim again, Landon?
That gene doping messes with your genes in your body.
Anybody else?
Izzy, I know you did that claim, why don't you?
No, I didn't.
I have it, just wait. But gene doping can also it's also used to make athletes better though. So some people might think it's good.
Do you think it's good, Mason?
I personally do not think it's good, and I think that genes should not be tested on, experimented with humans at all. I think they could be tested with plants, but that we won't eat.
Awesome. Do you want to say something?
Oh, I was looking.
Okay.
Was that all?
Evidence.
There's no wrong way to do this. If you see it as evidence or adding or a claim in itself or a counterclaim, that's fine. You're just simply recording his initials and what you think he's adding. The goal is to just keep up. You are going to miss some. That's okay. All right? Sorry to interrupt.
Anybody else talk about gene doping? And then you can also like talk about like Schwarzenegger mics and like how that like affects different things.
Can you speak up a little? Can you say that again louder?
So like you can talk more about like Schwarzenegger mics and like talk about how it affects the gene doping. Tyler, you were saying something earlier.
That I agree with Mason, but I don't agree that we should do it with plants. He said we should do it with plants. I don't think we should.
What?
Can you say it louder?
Mason said that we could try it on plants, but I don't think we should try it on plants. I don't think we should do it on plants.
Why don't you think we should do it on plants?
Because, well, if they try to do it on plants, something could go wrong and then they mess everything up.
What do you mean? Let's be specific. Let's be specific.
What will get this up?
Something could go wrong, and if anybody else can help him out.
I think that they should do it on plants because if something does go wrong, then they're not losing the life of somebody and a human. It's just a plant. Like, what to do? I agree.
Okay, but Tyler, I want to stay along those lines. Be specific.
So with Tyler, I said we should stop using so many GM foods. Like we can still have GM foods, but not. I don't think we should have as many.
Why?
But that,
And so I think that's because like they like the GM foods can be resistant to herbicides, but like once they spray the fields, the herbicides are still on the plants that we eat. But even though they get washed, how do you know that all the herbicides get off of it and they could possibly do something to us?
but that's why in my claim I have that I don't want the plants that we use for gene testing. We do not eat them. We have nothing to do with the plants. Will have nothing to do with us. It's
Why are we gonna plant them if we don't eat them?
It's
That's
just
a
for
waste
testing.
But it's a waste of
I have a
crop.
question for you.
It's not like we're doing
So you're
Yeah,
basically
I have a counter argument to that.
Wait,
I said we should do it on plants, and I said that, and I also looked up like cereal. And Frosted Flakes are a genetically modified cereal, and when you buy that, then you'd only pay $15 per ounce, whereas when you bought Cheerios, you'd pay $20 per ounce of cereal.
Are Cheerios genetically modified?
No. I have.
Are those the only cereals you looked up?
Yes, I just looked up these two. I have it right
Then how do you know it's the other things aren't cheaper, like ones that aren't genetically modified?
because I looked it up on Walmart.com.
What?
That's
What?
just two though.
What
And then-
makes GMOs cheaper? Find that in the article. Find that evidence that GMOs are cheaper. Where does it say that?
There's so many acres of it. They have a lot, so they make it cheaper.
Great, thank you.
can I add on to Arian?
Yeah.
Arian, so you were basically saying like the pesticides would run in the water and then it could get into like your house water for the ground?
Well, no, like on the food that we eat. Like if it stays on it after we wash it and we eat it, the herbicides could get inside us, and what could they do to that?
Yes.
What is everyone's opinion on plants being genetically modified that we eat?
Izzy mentioned, what do you think about that?
Because we have that.
I don't really think it's a good idea. It seems like it could be very dangerous and it's not going to help anything.
It seems like it can be beneficial, but there's also a risk that comes with it.
Yes, I agree with that.
My opinion about that, there is no evidence on that hurting anybody.
Yeah, and only allergic reaction they've seen and very few.
We have some counterclaims. And they're stating evidence, but no one's asking them to prove it.
I like to say yet. Yet there is no evidence, and yet nobody has died.
And nobody has had an allergic reaction. They said that there was no reports of it.
But someone has died.
Where?
They did run a test though, that 7 out of 9 people who are allergic to Brazil nuts are allergic to genetically modified soybeans.
Where's that located? Why is
To
no one
label-
asking her to prove it?
To
Where is
label
it?
or to not label in the
What
pros
article?
and cons article, I think.
See? Like exactly where, do you know?
To label it,
It's
to not
worth
label.
noting that there have been no reports of allergic reactions of any GMO foods currently on the market. In the pros and cons
Can you repeat
article.
that please louder?
It's worth noting that there have been no reports of allergic effects on any GMO. No reports of allergic effects on any GMO foods currently on the market.
That's in the pros and cons article?
Yeah.
Well, there hasn't been no one dying on gene testing with the plants, but someone has died of gene therapy for humans. Like the gene therapy on humans. His name was no gene therapy.
Gene doping is just a negative word for gene therapy, right? So doping is like you're using it for a sporting advantage. They're comparing it to using it in sports, and gene therapy is the same process. You're changing traits.
And his name was Jess Gellersinger. He died. He had a condition that was OTCD. It's right here. I think. No, I don't have it right now. Yes, I do. OTCD is it's usually when babies are first born, they can be in a coma, and it's because blood builds up in the heart, and they go into a coma when they're first born. But that didn't happen to him. They didn't figure it out till he was later in life, and so around when he got 18, he decided to get that done. Even though many of the people before him, they had many like different side effects that happened, and they were like bad side effects. But he died.
What year did he die?
This was 1999, I'm pretty sure.
So before we even had good
Let me check. This is, you can just look up Jess. It's Gesse. G, and then, J, sorry, J. G. And then his last name is Gel Singer. And it's it's called Science History Institution.
It says Jesse Gelsinger was the first person publicly identified as having died in a clinical trial for gene therapy. Gelsinger suffered from
OTCD.
Ornithium transcarbonic dysfunction and X-linked genetic disease of the liver, the symptoms of which include an inability to metabolize ammonia.
Is that the only thing you can find with evidence?
So this was a clinical
Speak up.
trial for gene
Speak
therapy.
up. The only thing you can find with evidence, Mason?
Well, yes, it is the only thing I can find with evidence, but there's more evidence on here that shows that other people have gotten hurt. Well, haven't got hurt, but have had problems with it.
Where did you find that?
You can.
Can we find the evidence within our 4 articles?
I do not have any evidence. I do not have any evidence between our 4 articles.
Not of humans,
None
but
of
there's evidence in the article that could support this claim. Find it. Genes and identity. Mice.
Schwarzenegger mice?
Nope. Someone should have it in their notes. What harm could gene therapy do? Yes, sir?
Viruses?
Nope. They mention viruses because sometimes that's how they edit genes. They'll use viruses to change the code.
They think it'll harm like the people, and it might give them like stress and anxiety.
Yeah, that's one of those things. It's not about the mice though.
They can have muscle diseases and reverse of muscle decrease. Mouse.
No.
It modified the genes in the mice, greatly improved learning and memory, but it also increased sensitivity to pain.
Harmful consequences.
Yeah, Joellen just said it. Where is it?
Under fitting designer babies, second paragraph.
Mm-hmm. That's a big paragraph.
6 line down.
Okay. For example, in the late 1990s. What does that mean?
That their memories could get messed up because the genes are connected to their memories. If you edit a gene, you might edit their memory.
No, that's not what that sentence said.
It's just
Read it
one
again.
example.
The goal was to improve memory, but what happened?
It made him sensitive to pain. And they didn't like pain.
So they felt more pain. Is that a good side effect?
No.
Okay, so that's damaging. However,
The pain is a desirable trait that they have.
the pain would be undesirable. The desirable trait that we wanted to modify was memory, and it had an unintended consequence of causing more pain. You do not need to include me in the conversation. I'm just modeling how I would like you to engage. Anyone have a counter to that? That would be evidence for not messing with human genes. Anyone have a counter to that?
Can you repeat it, please?
Does anybody have anything about why they think we should not be able to genetically modify humans?
No,
It's not-
I need a.
That's all.
I'm confused. I need a counter for why we should.
Oh, it can help. It can treat people with diseases.
It can help athletes
Gene
be better and
therapy
stronger.
promises to cure genetic diseases.
Go on that.
But
No, I don't want a but. I want to focus on this. Give those people a chance. He said gene therapy could cure diseases.
And the scientists insert copies of healthy genes
That's how they do it.
since 1990.
And once they do with the gene doping, most patients come or have report with less of the disease than usual.
And then the virus takes over the genetic material.
That's how they can edit it. Yep. So what does that mean? Thoughts?
I'm wondering how they can edit it.
They use
The technology.
technology.
that we
They can use super strong microscopes and go in with lasers and cut the chromosome and insert chemicals and genes in there to change it.
I think since we don't really understand it fully, that would be harder for us to say. But we do. We are harder for us to understand the full effects.
Is there anyone who opposes him?
Why
Is there anyone who doesn't agree?
Well, I think that because we don't fully understand it.
Wait,
How
what
do
did
you
you
know
say,
that?
Matthew?
Evidence on
How
this.
do you know that?
Well, I know I don't fully understand it, and I know at least some of you don't fully understand it.
But that doesn't mean the scientists don't understand it.
I'm
or
saying we don't.
it doesn't matter if we don't. It matters.
That's what I'm saying. It's hard for us to understand it completely. We don't understand. Because we don't know exactly all the things that are
But
going
it's
on.
meant for the scientists to understand it.
Yeah, but we're not. we're the
go
consumers.
untrained and just go do gene
Yeah,
therapy
but-
on someone.
Exactly. That's why we want to know about it. So I'm saying if we could learn more about it, then we could be maybe more to this side or more to that side.
I agree on you, or I agree with you, with humans and stuff because, I said, because they said they don't really know the health effects or anything with this, so I agree with you.
Yeah.
Does anybody else agree that we should not be, or
Because if they want to,
Yeah.
if they want to do more testing, then they got to make us be like, oh, this is safe. But they can't
But-
only.
are you talking about just on humans or both?
I'm talking
on
about humans
plants?
right now.
Okay.
I think that they can
The bad information too.
so we can.
But wouldn't it also be good because it helps like animals and stuff like that develop and get better? The GMOs do.
I
And
disagree
by
with
GMOs, like, this is a good lead-in. Let's talk about humans and animals, right? Is it okay to genetically
Well,
modify
it
or
depends.
enhance animals and humans, since humans are animals?
It depends because like if you do the wrong thing with, you gotta know what you're doing, but if you do the wrong thing, it can really mess someone up. It can bring them out with the wrong disease, or it can bring them out and they won't be able to speak, or they won't be able, they might not have no hands, arms, or something like that.
So that's why you need more information.
Yeah, you need more information.
And how do you
know.
get more information?
looking it up.
What? No.
You
Scientists don't look
Testing.
stuff up.
Testing.
He tests
So if we're not experimenting on humans because we don't know enough about it, how do we figure this out? You said it. How do we figure this out?
We test things with
What do we
animals.
test? We test things on animals.
Test it
But, like,
over and over and
Should,
over.
but shouldn't we do like the thing, because they're thinking about doing it to help babies develop, you know? So why don't we get like, why don't they use pregnant animals or something like that? Not just that, use animals that are kind of like humans, that do stuff kind of like humans.
But
And they
Like
do
a
no,
that.
monkey or something.
no.
And they do that.
The only evidence we have of humans with gene therapy, the only thing I've ever seen is bad. I've never heard of anything good
We're
coming out of
talking
gene
about
therapy.
animals.
I know, but
No,
we're
no,
also
no.
talking about humans.
We're talking about both.
Do you guys have anything good about gene therapy with testing on humans?
It's just an experimental
It can
technique
help
right now.
athletes though, like it can help them.
No, athletes use it against your will.
But imagine that if they take it for over a bunch of years, that has to not be good for your body. That can't be good for your
Wait, are you
body.
talking about steroids?
Stuff like that.
No,
Like gene doping.
Yeah, like
but just
That's
No.
gene doping, gene therapy, or practicing.
Landon?
aren't athletes like using it for like scientists, like they're hurting scientists' work by using it?
Yes. Something that's meant to cure diseases is being used for their own gain.
But gene therapy is like a medicine basically for people to take to help them with their diseases.
What if we could cure
Cure diseases.
with gene therapy?
Yeah, with
What
And then it
sort
won't-
of diseases? So cancer,
cancer,
Alzheimer's.
allergy,
Lyme disease.
Heart disease, the other ones with
Ones that run through like
diabetes,
diabetes.
diabetes.
genetic diseases. What if we could cure genetic diseases? So the big question here is,
You said
does the good outweigh the bad, or does the bad outweigh the good? With the information that we have currently, we know we're going to get more. Like you pointed out, we could experiment on animals, but
with the information we have right now, the bad outweighs it. But the things that we could do, the good outweighs it.
so we could learn more by experimenting on animals.
Why do you think that, Mason?
Well, because right now, what we have, it's all bad. All I've heard is bad. But what you could do, like you could cure cancer, you could cure all the other diseases. That's good, and that outweighs all the bad things. That
In your opinion.
So
in my
I
opinion.
know Brendan was talking about it yesterday. You have evidence about some of this stuff. What evidence do you have?
I think you might want to be more specific. I don't know.
Mine's about GMOs and plants.
Let's change. Let's change towards that. Have you shared your claim yet?
No.
Okay, go
Mine's
for it.
the only one I have.
Explain.
Go for it.
I think GMOs on plants and livestock have pros and cons.
Why do you think that?
I think that because it's proven that livestock that have genetically modified grains in their diet are heavier and produce more.
Okay.
Do you,
We have about 6 minutes left, and there are people who haven't said much. This is your opportunity to speak up.
So yeah,
I kind of disagree with Brennan, but then on the other hand, I agree with him.
Well, I don't think his claim is disagreeable. Who's got I mean, there are pros and cons. But where do you stand on it? Are there more pros than cons for you?
I feel like
Does the good outweigh the bad? Does the bad outweigh the good?
I feel like the good outweighs that.
Why do you think that?
Because in the evidence there was like reviews from farmers, and farmers were saying how like they're getting these new genetically modified pellets and stuff for the cows, and now they're way happier. And
where did you find this?
on the website is it was on Alliance
What?
for Science
Alliance?
and Beef Magazine.
I agree with Brendan that it's good and it's cheaper than just regular ones and has better chance of survival as a plant.
So we all
No.
agree.
Nope.
I think GMO foods can lead to cancer, and it can also make it hard to fight against illnesses.
I disagree with Jalen because they haven't found any health problems
I
yet.
haven't heard much from you. You need to speak up. You're running out of time. What can you say about these claims, this evidence, these responses?
I disagree with them. I disagree with you, Joe, because we don't know the long-term effects of GMOs on food because they're fairly new. So it could be quite dangerous, and we just don't know about it yet.
I agree with her.
Yeah, it's just like smoking to the scientists. Like we
or
might know all that.
You don't know anything.
How long have we been eating GMOs?
Years.
How
Years.
many of our
because it's in our snacks.
I thought we
It
probably
is
been
like our
born.
like the natural.
you eat it, but you don't
We
know.
might, yeah, we
Yeah.
probably been
You don't know the
Certain
long term
more.
like that. And
Yeah, we do.
but
So
in
you buy
plants,
this-
they've been
We've probably
using
been
it.
eating.
It
You're
can
not-
cause
we
cancer,
grew it
but there's no evidence.
Eli,
But we grew
where
up-
does it say that? And what does the American Cancer Society say? Now, this is what I want. You're responding to her claim that it causes cancer, and you're agreeing with her. Find it in the article.
Some cancer groups believe it, some other cancer groups don't.
Eli, come on, he beat you. What does the American Cancer Society say, Eli? You look for it too. Y'all need to be looking for this.
Oh, there it is.
Ah, there it is. Love that sound.
Diseases are caused by mutations.
Not
in the
all
DNA.
of them.
But it's dangerous to introduce the new genes into the body.
What would that cause in the body? To introduce new genes into the body, what would that do to our bodies?
It wouldn't be used to it because of
Yep, it wouldn't be used to it, and so what could that do? It could cause,
cancer.
there you go.
But there's no evidence of harm, it says.
Yeah, but it's only been 26 years.
I have a counterclaim or a counter argument because the American Cancer Society have said there is no evidence for this. However, they know that no evidence of harm is not the same as proof of safety, and that reaching a conclusion will require more research.
Well, they said that it's also dangerous to introduce new genes into the body. Why is it harmful or whatever? What did you say?
Well, I said it's dangerous to introduce new genes into the body.
Why is
Yeah.
it dangerous?
That's the same thing that Eli said. Is that it can lead introducing new genes is one thing that could lead to mutations.
Like what kind of mutations? Like different like types of like.
Any mutation could be cancer. Cancer is mutated cells. Their reproductive traits of the cells themselves go haywire. That's what cancer is.
Like don't we all have cancer cells in us, but that some just take over our body.
I'm kind of changing my mind and going against my claim now that GMOs are good, and I think they're bad now because GMOs have only been around for 26 years, and we can't figure out the long-term effects in 26 years.
But there's been there's no evidence of harm.
Yeah, evidence.
So what's the evidence that they do good? Cheaper.
It tastes
better.
Help.
Like it grows.
It tastes
Helps
better.
yield.
So, I have evidence concluding planting genetically modified maize over the past 20 years has increased agricultural yield. So more product.
Yeah.
It tastes better and it's more.
But think about it. There's so many people in this world that if we want to keep eating like we are, there's 9.8 million acres of genetically modified crops that have been grown worldwide. Or I think that's supposed to be 98.
If we ban them,
Then
That's
that would.
It will lose all the fields that is all taken up, and then we're gonna take it over with just the regular plants that we have.
we're gonna stop there. Nice job.
I know that this food is cheap, but I don't think that we have enough food to cure world hunger.
Yeah.
And he gets the last word. Pause. Nice job. Remember, you'll have an opportunity to, like if the conversation were to continue, you can go ahead and take care of that. What I want you to do now is listen and staple your track onto the top of your packet. Make sure your name's on it. Turn it into the tray. Check off your name on a cover sheet.
You can't use it for the disgusting.
Nope.
This is what
I
did every other and I still have that one.
Yeah, and it's okay if you didn't get all of them, because that's just not going to happen. How do you feel that went?
Good.
Good?
It was a little awkward at times. Like someone just needed to say something. Yeah, and not.
Yeah,
worried about
sometimes
hurting
it
someone.
You had staples for the
I do. They're in the. That one doesn't work. I'm sorry.
Brennan, there's a stapler over here.
Could you go borrow a stapler from Monk and just bring it in here?
Izzy, you
It
need
says
one?
monk.
I know he's not in there, so I'm still recording. You didn't hear any of that.